Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to tonight's edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime TV. We briefly are going to be talking about the unending accidents on our major highways in Cameroon. 7 persons died along the Bafoussam-Ewane highway last week. This week we had an accident around Melon that took lives, as well as last night along the Douala-Yaoundé stretch, where over 10 persons were reported dead in an accident. What is not working with our road safety measures? And also we're going to be looking at the accountability of our locally elected officials. How do they render account to those who voted for them, and when do they do so? We're going to be discussing on these two topics tonight with panelists who are with me in the studio. We have Dr. Dimancho, who is a lecturer with some universities in Cameroon. He's also a member of Cameroon's civil society. Good evening, we're glad to have you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Liu. It's a pleasure to be here and the cream of panelists to discuss this engaging topic. Of course, all of us, we are engaging on TV after it's because we want a better society for all of us. We want a better country, democratic process. Of course, that suits us, not that which is copied paste. And we think that our discussions will be able to enlighten and to even help some of these elected officials sit up and be able to adjust. We remember that human beings, frailty is their name. They need constant reminder. And you know, man is actually full of himself, and at one point in time, you feel that self-satisfaction will be sacrificed for the communal good, which is a good thing to do, but we all see the reverse. So we think that our discussion will be able to engage the elected officials, the parliamentarians, the mayors, the regional councillors, and why not even at the level of the parliament, the president, and all of that engages the country and that puts the country on the right way. And we think that together we can be able to bring up and carve a country that we think is the best that we could see, and other people could copy, and we be a destination, just as other countries are a destination for other people and who enjoy the amenities that we have. Thanks so much for inviting me. I would like to greet the mayor of my local council of Koloni, Mayor Dr. Nchupichem. Greetings to you all in Noni.
Okay, we also have Professor Mark Anthony, who is a Pan-Africanist, and good evening, class.
Good evening, Leonard. Good evening to my fellow panelists. Good evening to Cameroonians and Africans in general. It is indeed a pleasure to be here this evening to discuss a very important topic, which I think Mr. Liu just picked from the streets. Actually, it's based on the situation that the countries went through. And I think it's going to truly be an engaging topic, which we will do our best to give what we know concerning it. I also want to extend my greetings to the people of Boya, particularly Bonduma and Mofango. I also want to extend my greetings to the people of Nchupichem and Nchupichem, wheresoever they are in Cameroon and the world.
Okay, Mr. Saliu is also part of tonight's edition of the program. He represents the civilian party on this platform. We use also this platform to say we are deeply saddened by what happened to him. Our condolences. He lost his wife last week, and bonsoir.
Oui, bonsoir, Monsieur Kum. Et bonsoir à vos millions de téléspectateurs. Et bonsoir à mes co-panélistes qui sont sur ce plateau ce soir avec moi. Et sans doute pas oublier, vous savez que je représente le Rassemblement démocratique du peuple camerounais. Et je tire un coup de chapeau à tous les vaillants militants du RDPC et surtout aussi maires de Djovori qui sont en train d'abattre un travail de fond pour les prochaines victoires à venir du RDPC aux élections présidentielles d'octobre 2017. 2025, puisque nous y sommes déjà, parce que vous savez que l'année 2025 a fait couler tant de salive. Et nous acheminons petit à petit vers le compte à rebours. Et nous espérons qu'avec le travail des 6 présidents de section et des 6 maires de la région, du département du Vouri, le RDPC, cette fois-ci, comme on le dit, les urnes vont parler.
Okay. Mopol is also part of tonight's edition of the program. He is the editor-in-chief of the African Excellence magazine. Good evening. Glad to have you.
Good evening, Lon. Glad to be here again for another discussion, a very important one, having 2 tentacles, that of the growing accidents in Cameroon and that on accountability of locally elected officials. Permit me to extend my sincere condolences to Mr. Sule for having lost his wife in just a summary arena. We pray that she rest in peace after that. So also to greet the televiewers and to pledge that we are going to do our best to expound on the issues that we have shortlisted tonight to the best of the education of the televiewers and all others.
Okay. Our accidents, we have had so many programs on this topic of the Mancho. The minister has sanctioned so many agencies. We have so many road checkpoints from Douala to Yaoundé across all our major highways, but people keep dying. What is not working?
Well, I think in a nutshell, sometimes there's a musician who has sung a song who says La route ne tue pas, mais c'est une qui tue. So sometimes that song is very important. Sometimes we just dance it. But I really think that if we have a deep reflection on that song by that famous musician, we will understand that in most cases, we are the cause of the problems on our roads. Get to this route. I mean, I'm not exonerating the ministers and all those for the bad routes. But I really think that in some situations, when the route is too good, that is when you find accidents. Have you seen where you have new routes? The accidents that are recorded on new routes, I've seen new routes around Douala, and the accidents that are recorded in those new routes are even more than those in bad routes. It is because we become very, very responsible. And one of the things is that we begin to use these machines that have been given to us more than, and we want to show that we know the usage more than even the fabricators. And when you look at, let me start from our immediate environment with the bikers and all of those. When you see the way those young people, they ride these bikes, you actually think that they are the makers of those bikes, they are the fabricators of those bikes. It may as if they are in control of whatever can happen to those bikes. And you now understand the irresponsibility that goes with riding without thinking about human life. This is one of the issues. The second issue, going to the highways. You understand in Cameroon we are rushing. We rush, we want to reach fast. Boarded vehicles whereby in the vehicles you even find customer horsing the driver.
And it cares very
I mean, tu es trop lent. Regarde, depuis qu'on a quitté Bamenda, depuis qu'on a quitté Yaoundé, mais ça fait combien d'heures on est en route? Now, that is always the issue. You find that they are putting the drivers on the pressure, and the drivers want to run faster than the limited speed. Because when you look at, especially Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam, those routes have highway designated codes, or signs that you have to respect. But because most of these drivers, they are not only careless about them, but they care less about those route signs. This is the way they get involved in some of these issues.
Do you agree with what he's saying? Because I have had opportunity of boarding buses where they know there is this this radar. All of them, they indicate to themselves and they slow down. Immediately they go past. Yes, is it that they don't value their lives, or the irresponsibility of some of these passengers themselves? Why can they not ask a driver who is not heeding to their call to slow down, to stop the car. Take what they call Klandos from Douala to Douala to Boya.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, it is indeed heartbreaking to realize that a lot of people are dying, and it seems as if from both sides nothing is happening to change the situation. When I say both sides, because I wouldn't just consider the fact that the drivers are kind of irresponsible, because not everyone is irresponsible. There are even those who are driving at their best, but rather one car comes from nowhere and hits, and before you discover, people are dead in that same car, which was very okay on the road. So the problem necessarily might not be the irresponsibility of the drivers nor the passengers. The main issue that we have in this particular nation concerning these roads that we just mentioned, we talk about Bamenda, Douala, we talk about Yaoundé, Bafoussam, we talk about Yaoundé, Douala. These roads are dangerous. But if you look at the size of the road, it is actually just a pathway, as I would put it. That should not be called a highway. But we are using it, and for those who are applying this particular road, you realize that most of those those checkpoints, as we call them, those who's police people, gendarmes who are there on the highway, who are supposed to regulate the cars, they are out there for one purpose: to make their money, not to see into it that the highway code is respected. And as a result of that, even if your car is bad as what, they don't care, because I think there are certain cars that should not be plying the highway. There are certain cars that the moment they see them, they should be sent they should be impounded. But as long as you have money and you can give those guys, that car will continue on the highway, which is terrible, and that is not supposed to be accepted. So it is not only the drivers. The government has to put a regulatory method, not only telling us that they are radars, because a radar, which is somebody sitting and watching to report to the others so that they can arrest. When they do they arrest you, the moment you can give them enough money, it ends there. But if cameras could be placed on the road, which are automatically regulated from a particular center, it will make a major difference. Why? Because at that moment, the act that is committed on the highway will be registered there at that center. It will not be something that you can negotiate on the road with police people and gendarmes. But for the fact that that is not yet what is there, you discover that the moment they meet a radar, like Mr. Leo said, when they discover that radar is somewhere there, they slow, they go gradually, and when they pass the radar, they engage their high speed. That is irresponsibility on both sides. It's not irresponsibility on one side. The government is not doing their job. Drivers, some of the drivers are not doing their job. They are reckless on the highway. They seem not to care about the lives of those they are carrying. They seem not to even care about their own lives. And the result is what? High number of deaths on our highway. Every day you hear this one is dead. Every day you hear there's an accident that happened here. Recently there was an accident that happened in Obala, which took lives. I think yesterday or this morning even about 10 people died in Douala Yaoundé Road. There was so you keep hearing every day there is an accident, and it is troubling. So we in my perspective, Mr. Leo, I will tell you, I don't want to consider just one side issue. It is not only the drivers, but the roads themselves are problematic. We are talking of roads that have potholes everywhere. Everywhere. And those who are sent to even maintain the road, they don't do it professionally. They just take gravel, they drop, and then they put that. You discover that create a bomb where a car comes, it jumps over, and the car wakes up. That is not supposed to be the case. The road is supposed to have the same level. But when you have bombs on the road created by potholes and fields, it creates another problem on the highway. It creates instability for the car. For those of us who drive, you can understand what it means when you are driving and then your car jumps. That is not what is supposed to be there. So those who maintain the roads, they have a problem. Even those who are supposed to construct roads, that's the government themselves, they have a serious problem because they didn't take into consideration that development comes as we are developing, we are supposed to be increasing roads. We have an expressway which is supposed to have been completed by now, which till today still remains an unrealized dream, which was supposed to have reduced some of this pain in Douala Yaoundé, or Yaoundé Douala. As we are talking, from Yaoundé to Boumniebe, I think that road has arrived that point. But look at it, if you go through that road, you discover that it's a nice road.
It's a nice road, but
Very
you know
nice.
we've already recorded accidents on the road.
Yes, Mr. Leo, the reason now comes to drivers who are reckless. So we don't refuse that aspect. Drivers, they are drivers who are reckless, whether you give them the best roads or not.
Okay.
They will remain reckless.
Mrs. Souli, on a les gendarmes en route, we have these guys who call themselves road safety guys. Ils sont tous là. Mais pourquoi ils n'arrivent pas à stopper ce qu'on vit chaque jour?
Non, Monsieur Léon, je ne pense pas que j'ai entendu les uns et les autres parler. Mais je dis ceci. Je ne pense pas qu'il revienne de la responsabilité de ceux qui mettent la sécurité en route de faire plus que ce qu'ils sont en train de faire. Et j'ai entendu dire tout à l'heure que la route était très mauvaise. Non, je ne dis pas que la route est mauvaise. Parce que du moment où moi, M. Soulé, je sais que la route est mauvaise. Je prends la route, par exemple, Douala-Yaoundé. Je sais que hier encore, lorsque la rue était bonne, la voiture faisait 2 heures, 2 heures et demie, 3 heures du temps pour arriver à Yaoundé. Bon, depuis un certain moment, moi-même, je sais que pour faire Douala-Yaoundé, je dois perdre toute une demi-journée, voire plus. Mais ce n'est pas ça dans la mentalité des Camerounais. Les Camerounais veulent aller vite, 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 vite. Quelqu'un qui se dit que j'ai rendez-vous à 9h à Yaoundé, il se lève, il se met 7 temps en route parce qu'il doit arriver, il veut faire 2 heures du temps pour 350 km. Ce n'est pas donné. Je reviendrai encore ce que le professeur a dit tout à l'heure en disant que la roue ne tue pas, mais c'est nous qui tuons. Vous comprenez? Parce que ça doit toujours revenir. Il faut mettre seulement dans la mentalité des Camerounais de prendre seulement les responsabilités. Les chauffeurs qui sont au volant des cars de bus savent que cette route est bombée, comme l'a dit tout à l'heure. Cette route a des dos dents, ça a des nids de poules. Il doit rouler convenablement pour atteindre, même s'il doit dépasser, faire 3 heures 2 fois ou 3 fois. L'essentiel, c'est d'arriver à bon port. Vous comprenez? Mais comme nous avons toujours, on ne sait pas, les impératifs du temps, de la vie, nous conduit toujours à aller beaucoup plus vite. C'est la faute d'un certain nombre de chauffeurs, puisque je ne dois pas tous les mettre dans le même panier. Il y a des chauffeurs qui sont irresponsables. Vous comprenez, M. Kum? Donc, il faut seulement les éduquer, les demander de comprendre quand ils sont au volant d'une voiture, quand ils sont fatigués, ils doivent être à mesure de le dire que, mes chers passagers, je suis fatigué. Faisons un repos de 30 minutes. On veut arriver à bon port. Si tu quittes le matin pour Yaoundé et que tu arrives à Yaoundé à 15 heures, qu'est-ce que tu as perdu? Tu n'as rien perdu. Le lendemain, tu peux faire ton business, entrer un point. Mais pourquoi est-ce que quelqu'un veut aller aujourd'hui, finir une affaire et on est revenu aujourd'hui à Douala? Non. Lui-même, il met sa vie en danger. Donc, quelque part, la police, les gendarmes qui sont en train de mettre la sécurité comme le confrère parlait tout à l'heure, hein, à ce qui concerne les radars, tout ce que vous avez mentionné là, les radars en ont. Ils ont ça. Quand ils enregistrent ici, là, au central, à la base, il y a ces enregistrements. Vous comprenez? Ce n'est pas que c'est un seul individu, non, qui peut négocier. Mais c'est là où encore j'interpelle et j'appelle à la responsabilité des uns et des autres. Que quand on nous met quelque part pour travailler, travaillons. On ne nous a pas mis là pour prendre tuer le backship. Non, non, à tout moment, c'est pas ça. Changeons de mentalité et de comportement. Nous verrons que notre pays sera émergent. Voilà, à ce niveau-là, je ne pense pas qu'on peut dire que le gouvernement a une responsabilité. La responsabilité ici, elle est simple. Tu vois, non? C'est l'éducation et la formation des chauffeurs de bus. Un chauffeur de bus doit dorénavant comprendre que même quand il voyage, s'il doit même faire 1 heure sur une route, qu'il se dise que non, je dois faire 5 heures. Il roule doucement pour arriver. Et que les passagers aussi doivent comprendre que du moment où ils ont emprunté un bus, ils doivent être patients et arriver à bon port sain et sauf.
Monsieur Sule, est-ce que les chauffeurs des véhicules privés dans les villes sont disciplinés?
C'est ce que je vous dis, que cela maintenant dépend de la mentalité, du comportement, de l'éducation de chaque chauffeur. Il y a des chauffeurs privés dans des services. Vous voyez, chacun a sa manière de voir les choses. Et il y a souvent les patrons qui encouragent mais souvent les chauffeurs. Mais je vais vous dire une chose, monsieur Kum. Vous voyez, depuis un certain moment, je suis en train de faire une étude, d'investiguer sur le cas des motos de Ben Skinner. Voyez-vous, on a traversé des années ici, là, où à chaque 5 minutes, il y avait un Ben Skinner qui avait fait l'accident interné dans un hôpital de la place. Mais j'ai constaté que depuis 2 à 3 ans aujourd'hui, ça a baissé. Pourquoi? Parce que on est en train de les éduquer et de les former. Vous voyez, on peut passer une journée à Douala sans attendre qu'un Besquineur a fait l'accident. Donc je pense que la même éducation doit revenir au niveau des chauffeurs de bus. Beaucoup plus, parce que vous savez, conduire un bus, c'est pas aussi facile. C'est lourd et puis quand vous êtes avec des gens, il y a les gens qui dorment beaucoup plus même dans le bus. Doivent se retrouver en arrière et laisser ceux qui sont éveillés prendre le devant pour ne serait-ce que encourager le chauffeur, tu vois, non, à acheminer sa route.
Now, what is the real problem? Is it these guys who are not doing their job to check? Because if people are not respecting the road signs that are existing, they're not respecting the checkpoints, they are not respecting the road safety, who is not doing the job?
Well, I want to take it from Sule, who, in my view, is completely self-contradictory.
Okay.
Because he admits that years ago, it took a short while to drive from Douala to Yaoundé. He admits that. And now is pleading with Cameroonians to accept to drive on that highway for 7 hours and contain it in their minds. How did we come to this? Who takes the responsibility of bad roads in Cameroon? Should it be the drivers? Should it be the citizens? And you say the government is not responsible in the whole arena? I think you are self-contradictory. You should listen to yourself when how come? You should listen to yourself when you speak. The mere fact that it now takes longer to reach Yaoundé from Douala tells you that the government has failed the people. And the government is part of that cause of the accident. I'll extrapolate. Take the accidents that happened at La Falaise some time ago. Simple administrative orders cannot be given in a situation like that. An accident happens, and then the local administrative officers cannot take decisions that will prevent further accidents from happening. They cannot create, I don't know what, a buffer area, cannot demarcate the area where people should stand, and where and to prevent any other landslide. I'm just talking about that one. And we saw the dégâts. On a vu les dégâts de ce manque de l'action. We saw that how it killed. A similar situation happened in Mutengene and my 14 Hill, where a truck has fallen and people are around drinking beer on that dangerous path, and the truck has to crush somebody. Where were administrative officials? Where was the DO of Tico? Where were the local authorities to be able to keep people from that? I think that they take the responsibility for those lives that were lost. That's the basic minimum that Cameroonians require from people like that. I don't want to talk about cars, boarding cars, because I'm always boarding cars. Last Saturday, I was here in Douala, and on my return, I boarded a car. The driver was, I cannot ascertain whether that driver was up to 18 years.
When you want to capture every single good moment. When you want to play online without stressing about the connection speed. When your people abroad need the latest gist from home. Orange is here with the best data bundles at cheap cost. Subscribe to Orange Bonus Data on #111 *12# or via the Max It app. Orange is here.
Pay your taxes and custom fees at Express Exchange. The solution is close to you. Enter an Express Exchange agency, head to the cash register with your tax notice, and make your payment of tax and custom fees with ease. Receive a confirmation receipt. So cool, Mula. Yes, Mula. From now on, I pay my taxes and custom fees at Express Exchange. It's simple. Express Exchange, partner of the Guild and the Directorate General of Taxation. Express Exchange, #1 in quality service in Cameroon.
As long as what we know happens. It's sad. Listen, it's a very sad thing that once money changes hands, there is no care for the lives that are in. Yeah.
Si tout le monde doit faire comme toi, tu ne vois pas que les choses
non,
vont changer.
Principalement, excusez-moi, principalement, c'est le gouvernement qui doit assurer ça. C'est le gouvernement qui doit éduquer. It's the government which has to educate the citizens and also take take action. You need action to be able to educate people. So I don't give that.
This topic is going to. Yeah. We are not.
Pour sortir, je voulais seulement dire qu'il n'y a pas de contradiction dans ce que je dis. Si la route, tu vois non, est mauvaise, nous devons déjà nous mettre en état, tu vois non, du voyage. L'état du voyage à ce moment-là, quand la route est mauvaise, donc allons dire slowly, mollo, et on arrive à
non,
bon
je veux seulement que tu acceptes. Je veux seulement que tu acceptes que d'abord les routes là sont mauvaises parce que le gouvernement n'a pas fait son travail.
Non, là c'est notre débat que vous créez là-bas. J'ai dit que c'est notre débat. C'est un autre débat. J'ai dit encore que du moment où nous savons que la route est mauvaise, cela même devait nous encourager. Vous comprenez? Encourager à aller très doucement.
No, the point is that you're just trying to dilute the role of the government in the whole.
Maintenant, quand vous prenez la responsabilité pour mettre ça sur la tête de l'État, c'est là où je ne suis pas d'accord aussi avec vous, en vous disant que la responsabilité ici revient à la population.
I agree that drivers are also reckless. D'abord, nous sommes arrivés à ce mauvais état de route. Comment?
Comprenez que s'il y a des accidents en route, c'est parce que dans un premier temps, la route est bonne et les gens courent vite.
Okay.
Ils mettent la vitesse.
Okay.
Et maintenant, dans un deuxième temps, de l'autre côté, la route est mauvaise. Vous ne pouvez pas dire si la route est mauvaise, quand vous allez pouvoir s'emprunter ce chemin-là. Allez-y doucement. La route est bonne. C'est bien qu'il y a des gens qui facile de changer. C'est ça le véritable problème.
Okay. We hope that our vigilant and serious this time, more discipline, but they need discipline, because it is true that anything that goes unchecked, abuse is bound to come in.
Right.
So if measures are not put to ensure that these measures are respected, nothing is going to happen, because everybody wants to run it. Look at the way even.
Let me just come in before you take the mic.
Look at the way very big people run in town.
Yeah.
You ask yourself where they are running.
Let me just even tell you, I want to talk about the road from Edea to Bumyebel. Leonard, you're talking about cameras that are used by the security operatives, but it's like reinventing the wheel. You place a camera, there's a special bridge that drivers know that somewhere around this bridge that the guy is hiding there in the. You expect that he'll be running in front of you when they know that every day you are on that same spot. It's monotony.
Okay.
It's monotony.
Okay. Ben Litunga is watching us from Boya. Nzop Patricia is watching from Logbesu in Douala. Fonlon Clarence from Kumbo. Anno Alex is watching us from Bengui. Sama Benedict from Boya. Avin Win Lanyu is watching us from the United States of Nso. Yunka George and Sosa is watching us from Kumbo. Samrich is watching us from Ngaundere. Kelo Kalus is watching us from Makenene. And Juvita Brand Belvia is watching us from Boya. We move straight to our second and key topic for tonight's session. Actually ends today in Yaoundé, where we have our MPs who have represented Cameroonians at that level. I'm sure senators also have valuably represented Cameroonians. We have elected local municipal authorities. Dr. Dimacho, are you very comfortable with, do they even render account to those who voted for them first?
Let me first of all start by us looking at exactly who are these elected officials, who are elected.
Yes.
The local, who are they? Because it starts from there. If you are an elected official who comes up and you don't deliver for one reason or another, there should be a blame somewhere else. Because the first thing that we should look about an elected official, especially at the level of the grassroots, the councils and whatsoever, it should be first the moral integrity of that leader. There are most of them who do not have that moral integrity to rule the people. In a context, especially that of Cameroon, where, elections ascending to these positions is seen as a means to wealth for most of them. They want to ascend, they want to enter into that realm of wealth. A lot of things are done to get there. And therefore, there are no checks, especially to who that candidate is that gets there. The second thing is about clientelism, whereby you find that political parties are the ones who endorse most of these leaders at the local level to take positions. And the vote from the people is just a matter of formality. We have seen this happen, whereby you find political parties who have to choose who. That happened in my place one time in the past, where there was a candidate who was prepared for, who was ready and was chosen by the people for a particular post, especially the post of the mayor. And when the time came, it was a political party that came and brought in its own candidate. Why? Because in some cases, the political parties in our context, most of them think about what they are going to gain from the candidates have endorsed and not what they are going to do for the communities. These are some of the things that happen. Because in real sense, a real candidate is supposed to be that candidate that is inclusive, that brings about accountability, that communicates, that involves the people in the budgeting, that actually gives report about what is happening in the community. Now, when you look at, let me now get to the level of, for example, the National Assembly, that the session just finished. We have had candidates that cannot read a bill and interpret. Of course, yes, there are many of them like that in the National Assembly who cannot read bills and interpret. And that is why all of these things are happening in our country, because when a bill comes, since you cannot read and interpret, it passes like a letter at the post office, because you can't read and interpret. Secondly, you get people who are already, who go there for ulterior motives. I mean, I must say for personal aggrandizement, whereby the discussion of bills is not even their problem. The reading of bills and understanding them in order to criticize or in order to analyze and bring in their own contribution, it doesn't matter. Those kind of candidates, even when those long, voluminous bills are compiled, and we have bills of almost about 300 pages, and which are brought to them late in the night when they are already dozing off. We see many parliamentarians, when the sessions is going on, they are dozing off. Those are people who have just gone there because either somebody brought them there, or they know they have used their money to ascend power and they know what they are looking for. Thirdly, we have parliamentarians who go there because they want contracts. They use their money, they are sent to those positions because they know what they are going to get from there. We have had parliamentarians who we find every day in Yaoundé, in the corridors, in the ministries, who are hunting for contracts. It means that, which of course is not their right to get to go looking for contracts, but this is what happens. And you see that those kind of people cannot render accountability to the people in the base, because real leaders should behave even more humbler after election than before elections. What happened before election? Before elections, you find candidates who go to the people, eat with the people, drink with the people, condole with the people, commune with the people, and they sit in gatherings with the people. Exactly. Begging for their votes. They are supposed to even give much more of that after the election, because they are supposed to be with the people. You find candidates that take posts of office like the parliamentarians that only visit their their constituency even 1 or 2 times in a year. They care less about what is happening. They have a minimum package, I know it's about 8 million francs, that they are supposed to carry out some few projects, but those are their functional budget for their families, that they take them to go for safari trips. And it is because there is no mechanism for accountability, that a parliamentarian would embezzle money that is supposed to be used for micro projects in the community, and there is nobody who follows us to ask the parliamentarian, what have you done with the 8 million francs that is given for micro project within the year?
But is that not also where the trap and the problem is, where people expect parliamentarians to carry out projects? What accountability do you expect from a parliamentarian on project execution rather than making of the laws? Is that not also where the problem is more?
I think that
do people actually know what the responsibilities of their locally elected officials?
I think that this is again is a way to derail the parliamentarians from their real purpose, because as a parliamentarian you are a lawmaker. And one of the things that you have to ensure during your mandate is to be able to explain to your people the implications of the laws that are voted in Parliament, and also take the aspirations of the people to Parliament. That micro grants that are given for me is it's a way to derail the parliamentarians from their purpose. That's what I think. Since you have given me the floor, Leonard, I want to say that the whole issue of accountability, it will be good to look at it from the economist's point of view.
Okay.
I think that a mandate given to any elected official, whether local or national, is what you call in economics an asset for the people. It's an asset that is invested for the people to benefit. And so when you have taken a mandate and you have not delivered the results as required, you have misappropriated the mandate of the people. That's what I actually think. You cannot have somebody who is voted into office for a 5-year mandate as a mayor, as a parliamentarian, as a municipal councillor, regional councillor, and as soon as you have voted, you cut links with the grassroots, you cut links with your electorate, and then you wait for 4 years to come and pass. You have squandered the 4 years. And then in the last year, when you think that you're going to be leaving office, that's when they see you. You are attending every funeral in the village to give impression that you have been there for 4 years. People have not seen you. Every funeral, every Njangi house, every football arena in the village you are attending and making, making declarations that don't even have a bearing. I think that the people should show a little bit more intelligence when it comes to making decisions. Casting their votes. They are around now everywhere. You see the media is awash with those adventurers who have been away for 4 years. They are waiting for the electoral consultations to come so that they surface again and come and ask for votes. Some whose faces do not even know how to smile are doing everything to put on an image at this moment. They smile even with apes to have a vote. We know them. Only connaît. On vous connaît. Well, yes, you give them. I'm asking the electorate, the citizens, to give them sanctioned votes. You're absolutely right.
Yes, this aspect of accountability, we are asking when and how they do that. Is there a clear pattern or mechanism that tells the population that, okay, I'm going to represent you as mayor, this is how I'm going to render account?
Mr. Liu, from my understanding and from my reading, I don't think I've seen a clear cut out mechanism for accountability. But I also think that
because people may not understand about accountability. That is rendering account. When you look at when you look at the Western,
vraiment important. So let's even start with councillors. When we elect councillors
from the quarters,
we expect that they should be able to tell us, maybe at the end of every parliamentary season, or let me say, every season where they have a gathering, they should be able to render account of what has been done to the people. But if you realize, every time they are having a session, it is a session within themselves. It is a session where the GO and councillors and mayor come sit together to discuss and tell the GO this is what we have done. That is not to the people who elected them. And this also makes me feel sad because the people won't elect, then you give account to the GO who is an appointed official, which means you are not giving an account to the people, but you are giving it to the government. No, indirectly or directly, the GO is an appointed official, is not an elected official. Those individuals are elected by the people, and they are supposed to go back to them to render account. Rendering account means you come and tell the people, this is what we told you, this is what we are going to do within this period of time for you to vote us. This is what we have been able to do, and this is what we have not been able to do, and this is when we will do it. The people never receive that, and in reality there is no mechanism put in place to be able to get back to those people. I also believe that parliamentarians whom the people elect into office, who are supposed to always be there for the people, because they are going to sit there to make laws in relation to what they see within their constituencies. The laws must resemble what the people are facing. But when you go sit, laws come from left and right which do not reflect the very condition of the people. It becomes problematic. You hear a law where the government is asking that people should pay taxes. Parliamentarians sit there, they cannot even argue against it, they validate it. No, but look at it, we expect that they should be the ones who argue in that house and tell the people, from what we know, from what we have heard from our people, because one of the ways they should always be in contact with their people is having town halls with the people.
Yeah, but in this situation where they validated the law on the taxation,
they validated it.
If they validated it, surely they saw something good in it. Do they really take the pains to come and explain to the people that, okay,
this thank you, Mr. Leo. You see, that's exactly where I was heading to. First, they did not even inquire from the people. If you saw that it is good for the people, it means you decided for them. You did not even get their opinion. Now that you have seen that is good, you did not even come back to tell the people, okay, this is it. There is this law that we actually validated. This is the good and the bad in it. This is how you can benefit from it, and this is how you will be responsible on it. Did they do that? No, they never came out to do that. And the people are sitting and waiting. At the end of the day, they will be coming back. At least there will be elections next year. They will be rushing to come back, expecting that the people should vote them back into office. Unfortunately, like Dr. Dimancho rightly cited at the beginning, it is the people who are even supposed to say, okay, we are in a primaries, they say these are the people who want that should run for this office for us. But since it is the party that invests most of these guys, there is a party that chooses who should run in a particular environment, and for that case, the people don't matter. They are only instruments that are used. So the population, the electorate are just instruments that are used to validate the opportunity for politicians to go and sit and begin to eat. That's all.
Est-ce que les élus locaux prennent la peine de rendre compte de ce qui sont ce qui sont votés à représenter? Est-ce qu'ils le font?
Oui, Monsieur Léo, vous voyez, j'ai suivi les uns et les autres par rapport à ce sujet qui est vraiment très important et très capital pour la population et nous-mêmes, le peuple camerounais en général. Voyez-vous, les Camerounais ne lisent pas. Nous ne lisons pas pour comprendre un certain nombre de choses. Ce que le frère venait de dire, c'est qu'il y a, tu vois, il y a un combat, pour ne pas dire un conflit d'intérêts dans cette histoire-là. Vous comprenez? Je vais répondre à votre question. Oui, les parlementaires rendent compte. Nous, au sein du RDPC, nous avons créé des QG. Vous voyez, des cabinets ouverts. Et cela constitue, tu vois, une bonne communication de proximité avec les citoyens. C'est pourquoi, à chaque section, nos parlementaires rentrent auprès de la base des peuples qui les ont élus pour restituer, pour leur dire ce qui s'est passé à l'Assemblée.
On ne les voit pas.
Bon, peut-être que vous ne les voyez pas, mais nous les voyons ici dans nos quartiers. Vous comprenez? Et la dernière en date, c'est notre député de Douala 2e qui a fait la ronde quartier par quartier pour expliquer, donner un compte rendu parlementaire. Bon, maintenant, il y a un problème. Je disais tantôt, en ce qui concerne la lecture. Vous voyez, un élu local, c'est quelqu'un qui représente la nation. Bon, maintenant, nous avons des élus locaux qui sont les conseillers municipaux qui ne peuvent pas traverser une circonscription bien définie. Nous avons, parce que le conseil municipal est élu rien que pour son arrondissement. Un sénateur est élu pour sa région. Maintenant, un député est un député pour la nation. Ça veut dire que quoi? Un député élu ici à Douala peut aller à Baminda, implémenter des projets et rendre compte à l'Assemblée nationale. Pourquoi? Suivez mon regard. Parce qu'on dit ici là que le rôle d'un député, vous voyez, c'est de fabriquer, de légiférer et de contrôler l'action du gouvernement. En légiférant maintenant, le député fait part des propositions. Vous comprenez? Il contrôle tout et il rend compte. Maintenant, il rend compte où? Puisqu'il est responsable devant l'Assemblée nationale. Et l'Assemblée nationale, en ce moment-là, représente le peuple. Vous voyez qu'il y a eu un petit jeu. Le député est l'émanation de la population, de sa circonscription. Bien qu'il ait l'émanation de la circonscription bien définie, qu'il le vote, une fois voté, il devient maintenant le député de la nation. Nous sommes tous d'accord là-dessus. Voilà ce qu'il faut de temps en temps expliquer au peuple, pour que le peuple puisse comprendre un certain nombre de choses, afin de donner leur vote de confiance. Vous comprenez, professeur? Leur vote de confiance à un député. Le frère venait de dire tout à l'heure là que non, dans un quartier, si vous voulez que quelqu'un devienne député, vous pouvez bien sûr le faire. Vous comprenez? Vous pouvez bien le faire.
Même avec votre investiture.
Écoute, non, c'est pas, non, il ne s'agit pas d'investiture. Même l'investiture va se rendre compte que sur le terrain, voilà le champion. Si vous comprenez, c'est parce que nous, au Cameroun déjà, nous n'avons pas la culture de la démocratie.
Monsieur Souley, revenons pour les cas des conseils municipaux. Ils sont élus depuis les quartiers.
Oui.
Est-ce que vous avez vraiment l'impression que il rentre au quartier, expliquer aux habitants du quartier que, voici, il y aura ceci, on n'a pas pu faire.
Oui, monsieur Léon, comprenez que un conseil municipal, bien que sa population l'a élu pour représenter ses intérêts au niveau du conseil communal, vous comprenez, très souvent, il y a des quartiers qui n'ont pas de conseillers, alors qu'ils ont participé au vote. Vous voyez? Bon, maintenant, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Dans le rôle, dans le fonctionnement même de la mairie, il ne revient pas à un conseil municipal d'aller rendre compte de l'action que la commune est en train de prendre. Parce qu'il part au conseil pour délibérer. Et en délibérant maintenant, si lui-même peut se décider avec son, comment on appelle, son responsable politique de la sous-section, ils peuvent cogiter et organiser, peut-être lors de la conférence de section, dire à la population ce qui est en train de se passer. Parce que, vous savez, une conférence de section est un moment de la vie d'un homme politique dans un quartier ou bien dans une circonscription politique.
Donc
où on doit
parler de section.
Non, moi je parle sous section. Je ne suis pas arrivé à la section.
Excusez-moi. Oui. Est-ce qu'un
sous-section
conseiller municipal est là pour la section du RDPC ou pour le peuple? C'est ça qui mélange.
Oui, suivez un peu. Nous avons des étiquettes ici.
Mon problème est que si vous êtes élu conseiller municipal de, disons, Koto, parce qu'il y a Bonamoussa, il y a Koto, il y a Mbangay, tout ça c'est voilà. Bon, tu es conseiller municipal de Koto et il y a des actions qui se font là. Il n'y a pas de lumière, il n'y a pas de route.
Ça concerne tout le monde.
Tout le monde se plaint.
Tout le monde est affecté.
Bien que tu sois du SDF, RDPC et MRC et tout ça, est-ce que vous croyez que vous ne pouvez pas venir à l'église, saluer les gens et expliquer, expliquer aux gens pourquoi vous m'avez envoyé là-bas?
Même dans les chefferies. Pourquoi pas?
Est-ce que vous croyez que les gens ne devaient pas faire ça?
Bon, c'est là où il y a quelques difficultés. Il faut que nous nous comprenons très bien, M. Léon. Un élu, un conseil municipal qui est élu, très souvent, c'est quand il est élu qu'il se rend compte que je dois représenter mon quartier. Alors que ce quartier ne l'a même pas voté. Vous comprenez? Parce que, oui, allons-y. Attends, ça c'est le fonctionnement de tous les partis politiques au Cameroun. Attends, excusez un peu, suivez mon déroulement. Oui. Je dis bien.
On dirait qu'il est non.
Voilà, il est d'abord, on choisit. Parce que nous sommes ici sur la base que un quartier représente quelqu'un, peut quelqu'un être conseiller municipal ou député ou sénateur. Mais ce n'est pas le cas. Ici chez nous, c'est dans le VRAC qu'on choisit un certain nombre de meilleurs éléments. On dit que bon, c'est vous qui allez nous représenter.
Nous tous, nous comprenons comment la politique se passe. Si tu dois faire une liste de 30 personnes,
on our continent, we know ourselves. Everyone has something they like doing with their connection. There are those who prefer downloading heavy files. Then those who are really influencers on social media. There are those gaming champions who make the best world records from their homes. And those who will always show off their food. Not forgetting those who spend hours listening to latest Mboa hits. For all that, they choose Orange's Super 4G network. That is why we've been here for 25 years. Me and all the teams working all over the country. Nana is here. Orange is here.
Pay your taxes and custom fees at Express Exchange. The solution is close to you. Enter an Express Exchange agency, head to the cash register with your tax notice, and make your payment of tax and custom fees with ease. Receive a confirmation receipt. So cool, Mula. Yes, Mula. From now on, I pay my taxes and custom fees at Express Exchange. It's simple. Express Exchange, partner of the Guild and the Directorate General of Taxation. Express Exchange, #1 in quality service in Cameroon.
What I'm saying, and so they think that they actually owe allegiance not to the people, but to the party. Those who to the party them. It's not. Sometimes it's not even the party. That's tricky. It is to those people who handpick them and force them for ulterior motives to become councillors.
Now,
and so you see councillors who are supposed to be representing their people virtually sleeping on the doorsteps of men, begging for food for their houses instead of sourcing ways for their constituencies to be developed.
Somebody is writing that what you're saying is what some MPs do at the doorsteps of ministers in Yaoundé. So municipal councillors are doing exactly what MPs are doing in Yaoundé for the ministries. Yes, Dr. Dimancho, accountability. If it is not happening, who do we really hold responsible for that? Our elected officials who do not see the need, or the population that is also not mobilizing to request for accounts to be rendered?
I think the blame is both ways. You know, everybody should take the blame, bear the responsibility for what is happening. In a case where people vote because of favor and not because of competence, the people should be blamed for what is happening. In a case where the leader, the community leader, is forced on the people, the leaders and the political parties should take responsibility. But in all and all, we know that there is somebody that we can hold to account when something goes wrong. At the level of the municipality, the mayor is supposed to be held responsible, whether he was voted through clientelism or through what favor or whatsoever. At this point in time, when things go sour, he is supposed to answer to the wrongs that have been committed in the council. We have had mayors in Cameroon who have been taken to prison. I remember there's a mayor who was just released from prison. He has been there for about 10, 11 years in one of the regions in the east or whatever. Yes, it is when you embezzle, you should go in for. And that is why I talked about checks and balances in the municipality, as well as the level of the constituency. It is not because you are the magistrate of the municipality that you can just do things with impunity, that you just think that you can just take the law into your hand, that you think that the country coffers belongs to your family, that you think that you can just do things lackadaisically and then people let them go. You have to be held responsible for what is happening, and that's why I talked about, one, accountability. You should be able at the end of the day to give an account to the people who voted you, and the people should take you to task to give an account. Because in the first place, all these elective posts are campaigns for. Let us mind you, all these elective posts are campaign for. And during campaigns, and this is what I've written recently about my response to my letter to the political opposition parties. And I said, the people, what they call the people power. One of the things that you judge a leader for is about the program of the leader, the manifesto of the leader. Does it touch the people? And that is why the people are supposed to vote during municipal and legislative elections. Somebody,
do they have manifestos? They present one.
Now you cannot ask that question now, because if you are asking questions, you are ridiculing the people who vote. I don't want to ridicule the people, because I know that they vote because of the manifesto and because of the programs. If they are voting, and I said because of family inclination, tribal inclination, then there is a problem at the level of the people. But I don't want to go into that. Once the elected official is already there, I judge him up to the fact that he has been voted because he presented a program. And that program is what the people are supposed to follow up. From their first year in office, if you say you are going to build markets, we ask you, where have you put foundation stones to build a market? This is the first thing that the people start asking. We have now what we call the regional conciliatory, what do you call it?
Public independent.
Public independent. That is right. Who are now like, they are like, they are the follow-up of what the elected officials are doing, which is a good thing. I listened to a report. Yes, of course. I listened to a report from the Northwest recently. It's not up to a month ago, which they rendered. And they shamed some councils, and they gave a very, very bleak report about some councils. And that thing has been making some news around the country. And now people are beginning to ask themselves, how did these people get here? I know of councils not far from my locality who have been shamed because they have not delivered. And they have said it straightforwardly, even though some people have come in to say that, okay, it is like this, it's because they have not been playing the usual game of do you know what I mean? But what we should have to take from there, that if they say that you have not done this, you should be able to give proofs of the fact that you did it. And that is why I talked about the second thing after accountability is communication. You need to communicate. The people need to be seen what you say you are doing being done. And it is through communication. And communication today, it is not just by sitting somewhere and talking. In communication, social media, there are reports that you have to write. So the accountability at the level of the council or the level of the legislative, it is easy to go by. And I say it's two ways. And then the people who went in for these posts of responsibility are supposed to give an account, as well as the people are the local people are supposed to take the people to task about what they have not done.
Now, why are these accounts not presented to the population?
Mr. Leo, primarily, if you look at
because they're not transparent.
When
elections promises were not met.
In the first place, the question is, do these people really campaign and promise anything to the electorate? Because if you look at it, if you look at it, you realize that most of the times, when it is election time, what you see is people rush down to give bread, sardine, bags of rice, savon, which means they are practically buying the votes. And the people are not aware that they are supposed to question these individuals who come to campaign. What do you want to give us for us to give you our vote? So, because this is basically not there, at the end of the day, you do not even expect that they should come and give them any accountability. There's no accountability because the electorate themselves do not know why they are voting. They are voting for their stomachs. They are voting for the moment. So they sell the future, might be 7 years or 5 years, for 2,000 or might be a loaf of bread and sardine, for forgetting to know that you cannot sacrifice the future on the altar of now. When you are hungry now, you rush for that. Know that the people whom you have elected will do what they want and they will not render any account. So we also need to educate the electorate to realize and understand that your vote is what places them where they are, not because they have the authority to get there. And so if you want to give them that opportunity, they should be able to give you a good reason why you should elect them. That's what is called manifesto. Let them present to you why they think you should give them your vote. And when you give them that vote, you should also expect that they should come back for it. Second reason, Mr. Leo, is that the so-called accelerated democracy that we have in Cameroon is indeed just a sham, let me put it that way, which is meant to give the notion that Cameroon is a democratic nation. Why? Because we do not actually follow democratic processes to attain the results that we are expecting. We only do window dressing thoughts on beliefs to make people think that, okay, this is democracy. But yet we masquerade, voila, that's the right word to use. They actually masquerade the whole, their funny ideas, their dictatorial perspective, and say it is democracy. And we rush for it, and we wish that it could be a reality, but in Cameroon, democracy is not a reality. And that is why we are asking that the law should be put in place, should be respected. The electoral code should be respected, and even worked upon so that democracy can be effective on the ground. It should not be something that we only say it with our mouth.
Yeah,
and then,
but people have been elected.
Mr. Leo, that is where we are talking.
We are talking about a rendering account. People have been elected into
offices
as senators, as MPs, as municipal councillors. Is there a law that forbids them to render account? As simple as that.
There is no law. There is no law. The problem is bad faith also, because like I said, as long as the people come to buy their vote, they are buying your conscience, which means they don't have any reason why they are coming to give you a vote. Okay. So there's bad faith in the whole issue, Mr. Liu.
Okay.
Monsieur Léo, comprenons que la constitution du Cameroun et le règlement intérieur de l'Assemblée nationale stipulent que le député a des obligations à rendre compte, tu vois, à la population. L'article 34 stipule bien que le député est responsable devant l'Assemblée nationale et doit rendre les comptes de son action et ses décisions. Voilà ce que la réglementation a prévu. Je descends encore plus bas, ou en montant. Article 15, le député est l'élu du peuple et est responsable devant l'Assemblée nationale, pas devant le peuple, parce que le peuple c'est celui-là qui est à l'Assemblée nationale. Vous comprenez? C'est ça le problème que nous n'arrivons pas à bien nous comprendre. Maintenant, le député fait la restitution de ce qui se passe à l'Assemblée nationale à sa base. Oui. L'article 18. L'article 18. Le député a le pouvoir de légiférer et de contrôler l'action du gouvernement. Vous comprenez? Donc, le député maintenant peut être sanctionné. Tu vois, non? À l'Assemblée nationale. Et il peut être sanctionné aussi dans sa base au prochain mandat. Parce que la base n'a pas la capacité de sanctionner un député en cours de mandat. Il n'y a rien que l'Assemblée générale qui peut prendre ces sanctions. Ça, c'est d'après les textes de loi numéro 219/024 du 24 décembre 2019 fixant règles relatives au fonctionnement de l'Assemblée nationale. C'est ça. Vous comprenez?
C'est ça la loi.
C'est ça la loi. Bon, nous nous basons sur la loi. Oui.
Où est le mécanisme de suivi pour savoir ce que les députés auront fait?
Le mécanisme de suivi, c'est ça qui est dans la règle de la collectivité. On a dit qu'on a créé des comités de développement. Tu vois, non? Ces comités de développement doivent recenser maintenant les pans de voile ou des choses à faire dans ce quartier et présenter ça au niveau d'abord du conseil. Vous comprenez? Maintenant, s'il y a un élu à l'Assemblée nationale, ils peuvent aller maintenant faire des propositions à l'élu. Maintenant, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Il faut maintenant accompagner le député. Il faut qu'on assiste le statut des assistants du député, les statuts de la communication d'un député. Il faut que le député ait. Mais par contre, nous, ici à Douala et au sein du Rassemblement démocratique, comme je vous l'ai dit, ici à Douala Premier, il y a un bureau là, non loin du machin là, à Douala Premier là. Où donc on est en train de faire de bonnes choses. À chaque moment, il réunit le peuple, il les explique le bien fondé de ce qui s'est passé à l'Assemblée. La même chose à Douala deuxième, où le député Pongo, tu vois non, est en train de parler. Et quand il va, quand on vous met des fourrages un peu partout là, l'Assemblée, il doit aller rendre compte à l'Assemblée que voilà les actions que j'ai pu mener au cours de ce mois.
Non,
ainsi
non,
de suite.
non,
Bon, maintenant, c'est à lui, il vient restituer, il vient dire à la population que voilà.
Mais est-ce qu'il le
on a mis les lampadaires dans les ruelles du quartier, tout ça. Comment?
Est-ce qu'ils font cela?
Non, ils font cela, c'est ce que j'ai dit qu'ils font cela, mais je ne comprends pas ici. Les uns et les autres disent qu'ils ne le font pas.
Non,
moi, je vois
pas.
Okay, demain,
non, moi, je vois. Bon, venez peut-être à Douala deuxième, vous allez voir que Douala deuxième, comme je l'aime, tu vois, elle dit, est la première ville du Cameroun.
Monsieur Souley, oui? Est-ce que si je descends avec vous demain au marché Bonamoussadi, trouver les mamans et les gens
qui
sont là,
qu'ils savent quelque chose.
Ils vont te dire.
Je vous dis que moi, descendez avec moi à Douala deuxième, je vais vous montrer. Non, écoute, ne me dites pas, ne me donnez pas le nom d'un quartier où je ne maîtrise pas. Je suis de la circonscription de Douvouri 2. Allons à Douvouri 2, je vais vous montrer. Je vais vous que voilà.
Non,
je vous montre même les images.
C'est pas ce que je dis. Eric,
oui.
Vous allez me montrer ce qui a été réalisé. Est-ce que si on part au marché, le marché central c'est Douvouri 2?
Oui, c'est Douvouri 2.
Si on part au marché, est-ce que la population peut se dire que aujourd'hui on peut énumérer ce que notre député a fait des 3 années passées? Est-ce qu'ils sont au courant de ça?
Tout à fait.
Okay. No. My question to you more is whether people actually understand what these local elected officials are expected to do. Because if you want to ask for accounts, you should understand their responsibilities towards the population. Now, when they come for asking for votes, do they really tell the people what is within their competence to do?
For me, largely, no. I've said earlier that now we understand that people can be voted. You can be called by phone overnight and told to come and put your name on a list, on a particular list. I mean, I know municipal councillors who were called at midnight that please come and put your name. We need a name to fill up this list. They never planned to be municipal councillor. And so they went into the list. The list was invested by the party and it won. They became councillors like that with no manifesto. I mean, vacuous when it comes to projects. And so you go to the house, you are given responsibilities that you don't even know. At the end of the day, you will have a mayor who has just been handpicked, stays in his office for 4 years. He really doesn't have anything to present. And then he gets up someday. Let me tell you, FECOM, an organization like FECOM is even a victim of all of this. The Director General of FECOM the other day cried out how many
billions councils owe the organization. So you have a man who is in his last year of the mandate, who just hears that FECOM can give money to do constructions, and you go and take money from FECOM, a loan from FECOM, then you come, you build a structure. You don't have any plan on how to pay back that money. That burden weighs on your successor, whoever is going to be coming in the next mandate. And then at the end of the day, they go and present to people that I build this structure, I build this. Listen, you did not build that house. You did not build that structure. You caused some other person to build it, because anybody who is coming to pay that debt, that building should go to his credit. You did not build. You only had an idea, trying to present something to anybody. So you are asking the question, do the people even know what they should expect? It's not what they'll present. Find out whether the municipality has not been indebted at the time of building before you give credit to anybody. I think that this is crucial. Find out whether all those structures, markets, and all of that, the council, what about council revenue collection sources? Can the council show you something that they use, that they brought forth from council revenue? If Leonard, I'm saying this because minimum packages for education, for instance, are given to municipal councils now, and in presenting an account to the people at the 5-year mandate, some mayors come and name that we bought pencils and pens to give to this school, something that is coming from the central government. The municipality cannot give any account of the revenues, of its revenue sources, of the revenue collected from its sources. They're talking about FECOM, they're talking about government. They're talking about FECOM, they're talking about the ministries. What about their own resources? We don't hear anything.
Okay, we're talking about accountability. You cannot render account to people who do not even know what they should expect from you. We're talking about balance sheet. People are coming now to ask for votes. What balance sheet are they presenting to the people?
Bon, Monsieur Leo.
Mr. Kum has lost control of the panel. So just have to,
yes. When you say I want to come and ask for your vote, what balance sheet are you presenting? Because when you follow the MPs when they come for elections, what do they tell the people? Oh, most often I hear them talk about what the President of the Republic has done. I hear them talk about how
in local elections.
Yes, in local elections. So what you promise is that there is peace, there's national. Mark, please. Yes, but now, are you going to use the balance sheet of the President of the Republic?
Yeah. I want to take an example.
What is funny?
I want to take an example.
Everything is what the President has done.
I want to take an example from my community and from other communities around the area. In those communities where people don't really think much about what the party does, but there is an infight amongst the parties which are involved. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. They are not much more concentrated on what the parties come to give. They concentrate on the parties that are fighting for those positions. That is where the strength and the power is geared towards. For example, if it is a CPDM and the SDF and the Emirates, for example, they are looking at this person who is representing the CPDM and looking at this one represents the SDF and look at that. The people, what they are voting is the people standing as they going in for the elections and not the projects. This is what I want to say. It is very important because the people think that asking the mayors, for example, to give an account of what they do not even know How do you ask the mayor to give an account of what you don't know? The mayor comes and tells them, I'm going to build bridges. I'm going to build maybe hospitals. I'm going to do this. At the end of the first or second year, the mayor comes and says, I was saying this thing and depending on the government. But you know how the government functions. The government has not given.
Government did not give us money.
The government did not give us money. And at this point in time, that mayor becomes a point of sympathy from the people. Because they are sympathizing with the fact that the government has not given money.
That was victimized.
The government was victimized. And they say, especially if it is now with the opposition, the case is even worse.
It's worse.
They say, you see, they hate the opposition in Cameroon. Now they give money to other councils and they do not give to this council because they know it's an opposition council. We write project and they never sponsor the project. We go to FECOM and they do not give us anything because it's an opposition council. This is the way they use to blindfold and to play with time with the people. And what happened is, when there's cry die, the mayor carries his mimbo and goes to the cry die and goes and gives there.
That's
and
what they're doing.
And exactly when there is an occasion, marriage, the mayor will also buy his gift and get yes. That is what is happening. I'm saying, I'm giving an example, a picture of what is happening. When there's a marriage, the mayor will buy his own gifts, go and give. It's a birthday, the mayor goes to and buy his crate of beer and go and put there. And now what do the people say? This our mayor is one of the first mayor that is with the people. Because he's giving them what they can eat immediately. The people do not think about what can go in for future. They think about ephemeral project food rather than perennial project that the mayor is supposed to build. And this is what is happening. And then you ask yourself, what would the mayor going to, is he going to tell them during, as the election is coming? They will tell them, I was with you, I ate with you, I came to your birthday, I came to your cry die. And the people have the memory of that. And the people go to vote the mayor during the next session because the mayor came and condoled with them. This is why I'm talking about education of the masses. The masses need to be educated that this is what the council has to do as its responsibility when they take over a council. And that at the end of the mandate, the people should be able to rise up and ask themselves, what did this mayor do? When you came promising us that you want to build a route, you thought you were going to take the funds somewhere to build a route. Do mayors build routes? That's what I'm asking. But the small patches or street of routes in the quarter, you cannot fix. And you are telling the people how you build a route from maybe from Bunda to I don't know, to Bafusam, I don't know. So that is what happens. And all of this is because the people do not know. And immediately some of these people know that they are educated people around the area who open the minds of people like the civil society and all that. That is when they go into conflict.
They hate you.
I've gone into conflict with some of them because they think that I'm opening the minds of the people to tell the people this is what the mayor was supposed to do that he didn't do. And then the person who received the mayor's palm wine now comes on me and said the mayor did something. We should be accepted because we in the community, we live together and then we ate together, we drank together. That is not accountability that they should give at the end of the year. These mayors vote budget. And one of the things that they do when they vote their budget, when they have council session, is that they do not publicize it. It is low key. It is almost incommunicado even. And at one moment you just hear that they sat in the council session and this is what they voted and this is what they did.
Now, Prof, we are talking about running accounts. Should the mayor actually, or mayor, MP, or senator, whosoever was voted, not also have the courage to call the people and tell them that I promised this, because the resources could not be raised. I could not because of these reasons. What is difficult in doing that?
The primary reason for not being able even to use that cajoling method you just even mentioned is because first they know that they came to deceive the people. You know, when somebody is in ignorance and you know that the person is in ignorance, you want to do everything possible to use the person's ignorance for your good. And that is what Cameroonians have been in. We are, in fact, about 90% of Cameroonians are ignorant when it comes to democracy. When it comes to democratic processes, we are so blind and blank. And these guys know it and they are using it against us. So you will not. They know very well that when it's election time, you guys are waiting for something to get. So if they can give you that thing, they can spend the next 5 years not coming close to you. And if they expect that you should bring them back, they can come close and give the things that are not needed. I will never tell you that we never had the finances necessary to do the necessary things that were supposed to be done. Even if they had, some of them siphoned the money. For example, we have individuals, parliamentarians who have at least they give them some small stuff, 8 million francs, which could be used to do some light projects around. Some of them don't do anything with it. The money disappears. They can tell you we visited these schools and bought some few books and gave them. That's a project for them. They can tell you that's the way Mr. Sule says they are rendering accounts in a parliament. We went to this school, we visited this community, we created a borehole for 8 million. And that's how the money was used. But to the people, when they see that borehole that maybe you did, they don't know how much it costs. To do a borehole is about 500,000 francs CFA. Or to make it very beautiful, 1 million francs CFA. So, if you did a borehole in, let's say, in Furawa, in Furawa, yeah. You did it in Furawa, and that is the account you are giving back at the parliament that you use all the money to do a borehole. You are a good parliamentarian in front of those who are sitting there with you, but to the people whom elected you, did you tell them how much you used to do that borehole? No. Did you actually tell them that some of the projects that you actually intended to do, you could not do them because you lack money? No. Most of them don't even have, they don't care about the electorate. They have little or no concern about them. And that is why I'm calling on the electorate this year, 2025. Do your best to sanction those who have not been rendering account. You see, we have 2026 that is also coming, which is going to be an electoral year. We expect that you should not just sit like that. When they come, you expect that they should give you 1,000 francs, because you talk of 2,000. There are some that they give them 1,000 francs. You need to bring out your ballot paper and show they give you 1,000 francs. That's all. Yes. And when you take the 1,000 francs, you are happy and you leave and go. It is finished. That's the abyss of that is very destructive of your own future as an electorate, not that of the person you are electing. You are destroying your own future and that of your own children, of your children. So if we can do our best, we rally ourselves, choose to sanction those that we elected last period and they have not been able to give us account of what they have done, then you would have done something good. Vote for the people that you know that have what they can give you. For example, let me ask you, the person you are electing into parliament, or as a regional councillor, municipal councillor, a senator, how effective were they as mere individuals in your quarter in executing projects? Because they should have something that they have been able to do also before you can say, no, this person is fit for that office. Did you see them doing something that was fitting? Because it is not even the party we are talking here. It doesn't matter which party they are coming from. Their party doesn't matter. Because at times, you might say, no, is that I will vote for him because he's my tribesperson. I'll vote for him because he's from this party. Vote for somebody who has the conscience that you need development and is willing to put his life to see that you are the development you need is rendered, and is willing to give you accounts for that particular project that he undertook to execute. Without that, Cameroon will never develop, because most of those who be coming are those who are hungry. They need to be fed, and so they will use the small they have to let you vote them into office so that they can get the big money from Yaoundé. so, or from wheresoever they are, whether they are mayors. So be careful with who you vote. This is the education we are supposed to give you as the electorate. So Mr. Leo's question comes back. Is it like, I should ask this one, is it like they have blindfolded most of us, or is it like these guys are using magic power for you to vote them and they cannot come back to you? I think that is not what is the case. They have...
My teacher to come in, Mr. Sule too. But Mr. Sule, let me come in and then.
Sule has spoken for too long. Leonard, I should say that one tentacle of our discussion tonight was how.
How, yes. How do they render account?
They come to render account. And I think that we have not, those who even make attempts, we have not seen much of how they do that. Let me tell you a simple scenario. There are some elected officials, once they take office, they are religiously listening to the radio or on social media. I mean, religiously on it. So you imagine a mayor, you imagine a councillor or an MP who sees that somehow the central government has sent a project to their area, maybe the Ministry of Public Works, Education, and or any. Then I'm saying what I've lived. I've seen politicians do it. What they do is they quickly go and craft a letter addressed to such a minister who, of his own volition, send that project to their area and say, look, this project has been allocated. Look at the letter I wrote to the minister asking for this project, wanting to take credit for what they did not even know. And that will be one of the things that they will be presenting as their achievement after the mandate. And it happens like that. Letters. They have a pile of letters, always listening that they are the ones that asked for this and got it. Now, let me tell you how. You said it very well, Leonard, that people are elected. Whether it's through some gangsteric manner you end up finding yourself in office, and it calls for you to render account. If you have the will to render account, you will render. And it doesn't need you to even be in parliament. It doesn't need you to be in a council session. I give an example. In Boya, there existed a very strong informal organization. They could call it Parliament. I was member of Parliament in Boya.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, I was member of Parliament in Boya. I mean, it's just a roadside stuff, and every people of all walks of life, journalists, magistrates, politicians, drug pushers, everybody that wanted to be at the heart of politics or political happenings, you come there and be duly admitted to be there. That's when I saw that somehow, informally, mayors, parliamentarians can come and render account. I can give you the case of the late Mayor Mokake of Boya. Would come there in the evenings when they have close work. The politicians and journalists, they would take them to task in that informal sector. They'll tell you what you are doing is not correct. Mbela Muki was one of them. He will come around, we hold him to account. And then during that, especially the first mandate, Mbela will explain to Parliament what they are doing, and they will tell you that no, they are not happy with that, but they have listened to you, and you have also listened to them. At least you have listened to people somehow. What I see now is all escapee tendencies, which I do not like. I personally, as a journalist, I don't like. That you go and take a mandate. I said it's misappropriation of a mandate when you don't render account. Because the people consider that mandate very important. They are hoping that development is going to come to them. When they have given you that mantle, they have given you the ticket, then all you're doing is dodging. They don't even see you. As MP, they don't even know your office. Some other cases, apart from council sessions, I've seen mayors who of their own accord they convene
town hall meetings for the entire population. The town hall meetings for the entire population to be present and ask their questions as much as possible. We don't see it now. First of all, people are not true representatives of the people, and we know how, in what blurry circumstances they came to those offices. So they will not even want to face the population that they purport to be representing. So this is it. I think that there's still a chance. Even if you are squandered 4 years, we can hold you for 4 years accountable for the mess that you have done. But 1 year can be enough to do some repairs. Yes.
We have less than
yes,
1 year.
Mr. Leo. Yeah, Mr. Leo, I want to say that Eli can have many and different meaning, like how we say, but depending here on the contest, often through voting. Now, voting in Cameroon, people do not vote person, but people vote party. Is that our problem? Une fois que j'ai dit ça, je vais vous faire comprendre que le problème des Camerounais, on ne vote pas les hommes, mais on vote les partis politiques. Oui. Voilà pourquoi à chaque moment le RDPC doit gagner une élection. Parce que le RDPC est beaucoup plus ancré dans le cœur du dernier Camerounais lambda qui est au fin fond du village, à Gelmedouga. Vous comprenez? Donc c'est ça qui fait la force. Ouais, c'est ça qui fait la force du Cameroun. Monsieur Léo, vous comprenez que quand je dis que les gens ne votent pas les gens, mais seulement le parti. Je vais vous prendre quelques exemples des partis politiques que nous avions ici au Cameroun et vous allez être d'accord avec moi. Je vous prends l'UNDP, UDC, PCRN, SFNC, SDF, UMC, ANDP. Voilà les partis, quand vous voyez même dans leur cosmosgonie, vous savez, vous comprenez que ça, on ne vote pas les gens, mais il suffit d'être là dans ce parti. Non, c'est le parti de qui? Non, c'est le parti de l'UMC, de, comment il s'appelle? UDC. Voilà, UDC, de Damdjia. Directement, on vote Damdjia. Donc, vous comprenez, c'est comme, même au village, ah, il y a qui? Paul Biya là, le parti de Paul Biya là, on vote le RDPC. Et c'est ça qui fait la force du RDPC. Bon, maintenant, la démocratie est en marche. C'est un processus qu'il faut.
Aussi lent qu'elle.
Voilà, aussi lent. Puisque mon champion avait opté, mon champion avait opté pour une démocratie à l'apaiser, au pas de la torture. On va mollo doucement et nous allons y arriver. Vous comprenez?
C'est la
même chose comme il a dit que les gens ne représentent pas les gens. People do not representative people. C'est ça. Donc comprenons que ici là, hein, ils s'en foutent parce que par rapport à un projet politique, ils ne sont pas là. Par rapport aux gens, ils ne sont pas là, mais ils sont pour le parti. C'est le parti. Et quand vous avez un parti fort, structuré comme le nôtre, le RDPC, c'est que vous êtes assis, vous avez la base, vous avez le peuple avec vous. Vous comprenez? Et c'est ça qui fait la force de mon parti. Je reviendrai là-dessus à tout moment. Donc, par rapport à un élu, je vous dis, en ma qualité d'homme politique, les élus, certains parmi eux rendent compte à leur population et à leur base. Vous comprenez? Si peut-être chez vous là-bas, on ne fait pas ça, bon, moi je ne sais pas. Moi je suis dans la circonscription politique de Douala-Deuxième. Et nous avons, même quand on nous fait un forage, on vient nous rendre compte qu'on a fait un forage. Le communiqué circule et le député vient dans chaque circonscription expliquer.
Et quand on échoue, on rend toujours compte.
Échouer, comment on doit échouer quand vous êtes appelé à réaliser un projet? Comment vous allez réussir?
Il n'y a pas de chèque.
De chèque à quel niveau? Puisque je t'ai lu ici là, que j'ai dit que dans la règle, tu vois non, le règlement intérieur du fonctionnement de l'Assemblée nationale, le député est responsable devant l'Assemblée nationale. Bien qu'il ait l'émanation, tu vois non, du peuple, de la population, qui va le juger après une mandature. Parce que le peuple a droit de le juger après une mandature. Et s'il a mal travaillé, si le peuple juge que ce député, élu du peuple a mal travaillé, le peuple ne le vote plus. Mais d'habitude, nous avons vu que nos députés travaillent toujours bien et ils sont reconduits et ils ont la confiance du peuple. Vous comprenez? Parce que tout à l'heure, il y a eu une petite nuance où je voulais vous faire comprendre que, vous voyez, les gens ne votent pas les gens, mais c'est le parti. Parce que vous pouvez être dans un quartier, on vous prend, vous met dans le RDPC, et vous partez, vous l'avez dit ici, là, et vous, directement, vous êtes député. Est-ce que vous allez dire que vous avez demandé à la population de votre quartier de vous voter? Je crois, non. Bon, maintenant, il vous revient de droit et de plein droit, tu vois, non, de contrecarrer les intérêts de votre quartier, bien que vous êtes député de la nation. C'est ça, monsieur Léo.
Okay. How do we engage our politicians to render account the more at all levels? Because we are looking forward to elections, but local elections are mostly next year. How do we get the population?
Of course, I advise that in every circumscription, in every area, in every municipality, we have people who have diversified education that could open the eyes, the ears of all the politicians. In a municipality, when we have technocrats who can be able to sensitize the people. Because these people behave as if everybody is ignorant, which is not correct. Or in municipalities, you find people who are just dormant. People are even who are educated, but who are dormant and who don't want to take part in the development of the municipality. I think that if you have educators, let them be able to bring the mayors and council to task. If you have scientists, if you have health workers, if you have all of these people should come together. You know, I was taken aback when I was launching my book, and I invited the parliamentarians from my constituency, and you will not imagine what the parliamentarian told me. The parliamentarian told me that if he needs a book of that theme, he will go to the library and buy the book, and that he doesn't need to invest in publishing or assisting in publishing books. I mean, I was taken aback, and I shared with some people here. This is what my parliamentarian from Ukulone is saying, that he cannot take part in my book launch because if he needs book, he can go to the library and just buy the book, and he doesn't need to educate people.
Well, it tells you some level of...
Exactly, and this is what we are discussing here.
It speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes. Because, I mean, I was taken aback to hear that from the parliamentarian. So I think we need to invest in the know-how of every municipality. Let people be able to be the eye of the councillors and of the mayor, and let them take them to and that is why we also need to encourage the opposition in every municipality, because the opposition, if the council is the SDF, I know that the CPDM become the opposition there, and that they should be able to open, to let them know their failures. Let them be able to let the people know their failures. I think that is it. And this is, in a way, preparing their field in the next session of elections. But people wait until it is election period before you hear them say that this one doesn't do this, this one, this, and even get into witch hunting. It's not more politics. Yeah, politics is not witch hunting. I think politics is just practical. That you are here and you know that this is what this person was supposed to do, and let the people know that this person was supposed to do this thing and he didn't do. This is also helping the municipality, because when you point out a failure of what somebody was supposed to do, which he didn't do, you are also helping the person to work for the community the more, because he is going to do it. Because nobody hates taking the second mandate or the next mandate, and therefore taking the next mandate is that they hate to be talked about negatively. And you know, these people, they hate the media. You know, they hate the media very much. Very much. They hate the media. They don't want you to write anything about them on the media. So that is the thing. Okay. And they know that when you start pointing out these things, then the media is coming closer. Okay. So, and that is what we need to keep doing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, you see, there is
this issue also, which I wanted to say. I think the civil society has a big responsibility in raising this awareness, educating the constituents, so that they can as well become much aware of what they are supposed to do during, before, during, and after elections, so that they can hold their elected officials responsible. Because if from everything we have been discussing here, it falls on the fact that most of them don't know what to do. And so at the end of the day, they are just waiting for things to happen. You will see an opposition being somewhere expecting to take office, but doing nothing to create awareness to gain the electorate within the time. But when they announce election, that's when they come in. How do you expect that the people should know what is the others were doing wrong? But when it comes to football in Cameroon, I remember I published something on my Facebook page concerning a field, a stadium that's being constructed in Bamenda. I was shocked to discover that a lot of Cameroonians were able to explain the source of that, the money to construct that stadium, but they are unable to give the source of the finance that has been used to build a particular bridge in their particular constituency. And so they keep on clapping hands to the mayor for a road that he did not construct. They say the mayor has done this and this for us, when in reality it is the government that is doing. We are talking here, it's central government that is doing that job, but they do not know. But since their mayor, it is in their constituency, and they fool them with football. With football. Yeah. So it has entered into their. So just imagine, they know details about football, but they know little or nothing about their daily lives, which is supposed to become their greatest awareness, but they lack it. So that's why I said the civil society has a responsibility here to educate these people, because if we do not do that, at the end of the day, they will keep doing the same thing. And that is why I want to also believe that the civil society is being fought in this nation, so that they should not do their job well. The moment they start, they say, no, people are not supposed to enter into politics. No. Politics is something that everybody does, but not party politics. I am not supposed to be involved in party politics, but I am fully involved in politics.
What have they not said? They say pastors, the church should not enter.
L'église pour les légiciens, le politique pour les politiciens. Ça, ce n'est pas normal.
We have a formal.
So concluding there, Mr. Leo, we need to educate these people, and we should not deceive ourselves that politics is for politicians and school is for scholars. Everybody is supposed to be involved in the political life of the nation.
Biggest scam.
But when it comes to party politics, people can decide whether to be involved or not.
Mr. Soule, oui, est-ce que les chefs traditionnels aussi et les autorités religieuses ne peuvent pas aussi pousser ces élus de rendre compte?
Oui, mais c'est que je me dis que
pas les places.
Vous faites une fixation. Oui. Ne faites pas de fixation. Okay. Je vous ai dit ici là qu'il y a des élus locaux, oui, les députés qui viennent dans des chefferies, qui vont rendre compte de la session parlementaire. Prenez ce cas, ne serait-ce que c'est déjà une avancée. Vous comprenez? Quand maintenant vous demandez à un élu, à un chef traditionnel de dire à un député de venir dans le corps, de demander à un député de venir dans le corps. Mais c'est qu'il fait déjà. Moi, j'en sais, je connais un qui l'a fait, paix même à son âme. Puis je dis paix à son âme parce que bientôt on va aller l'enterrer. Le député au rencontre de Douala deuxième. Vous comprenez? Il a fait, il n'a que fait que ça durant tous ces 3 mandats à Douala deuxième. Vous comprenez? Il n'a que fait ça. Et même c'est le nouveau qui est là actuellement. Il fait la même chose qu'il suit. Il est en train de suivre. Je vous dis qu'ils font. Il y a des députés qui rendent compte à la population et à la base.
Mais combien de
vous comprenez? Bon, maintenant il faut aller chercher combien. Oui, là je n'en disconviens pas. Parce que les gens ne se ressemblent pas. Vous comprenez? Donc, moi je voudrais revenir sur ce que Macron a dit.
On n'a pas le temps. Moi, j'ai demandé qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour rendre que, même si vous dites qu'on rend compte, mais qu'on rende plus.
Non, pour rendre maintenant plus, il faudrait que les populations au sein des quartiers se constituent maintenant en un comité de développement pour avoir la pression sur les candidats, les différents candidats. Vous savez que nous sommes dans un pays laïque et il y a diversité de partis politiques. Faire pression, savoir que quel qu'en soit le parti politique dans lequel peut-être un résident de ce quartier sera, au moment où il passe, il doit rendre compte. On le convoque devant sa population, il vient parler ce qu'il va faire. Ne serait-ce qu'à partir de ce moment-là, hein, nous allons commencer par applaudir et comprendre que nous maîtrisons déjà les leviers de la démocratie.
Moi, je pense plutôt que pour démontrer la bonne foi, il faut que les partis politiques envoient les députés rendre compte au peuple. Par exemple, le RDPC peut décider que chaque trimestre de l'année, les députés doivent rentrer chez eux, rendre compte au peuple. Là, ça va marcher. Il y a des institutions qu'on donne, que les partis donnent et les députés suivent. Pourquoi pas aussi donner les instructions pour aller rendre compte?
Je vous l'ai dit tantôt.
Okay. Non, please. On n'a pas le temps. Non. On n'a pas le temps.
Des cabinets, des QG dans des différents quartiers.
What should be done to get these guys more accountable to the people? More.
Yes, like I said, since the political parties, most of what has happened has been investiture. And from time to time, it is the party heads that take the decision. For the sake of good faith, political parties, the heads of these political parties should be able to give roadmaps, tell their elected officials that maybe after a semester in the year, go and give account of what you have done per semester. I mean, so that we should see good faith. So that we should not think that if elected officials are not giving account to the people, it is the party that has decided that they should not give account. Because when they don't give account and the party condones, there's nothing else we would think apart from the fact that it is the parties that are instructing them not to give account.
Okay, we are going to be ending at this juncture, Doctor. Michael, thank you for coming.
Thanks so much, Mr. Leo, and thanks for having been in a great panel with Mr. Sule, Mr. Moa, of course, Prof. Mark, and of course, it was a great program, and we just hope that the elected officials listen to us, and of course, the people power will be engaging them in the coming months, and of course, 2026 is their year, especially for the municipal and legislatives. We are going to engage them, and we hope that, like Mr. Moa said, what they didn't correct in 4 years, let them at least use 1 year and try to confuse and deceive us that we are doing something, and we see them to be doing something. Greetings to all the Cameroonians, and let us keep being patient and engaging. Good evening.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Prof.
Thank you, Mr. Leo, and thank you for listening to us this evening. I want to appreciate you people for giving your ears. And we say continue listening to My Media Prime and expect more education from this particular program, Prime Hour.
Thank you to Mr. Sule for coming.
Oui, c'est un plaisir pour moi, Monsieur Leo, d'être sur votre plateau. Et je dis une fois de plus, bonsoir à mes co-panélistes. Et le débat a été vraiment enrichissant, mais qui t'a nous maintenant de dissocier, de discerner et d'éduquer la population.
Thank you for coming, Moa.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasant time being here. This is the first time I'm being with Mark and Tony on the same plateau, Doctor, and Sule. I think this is the first time we're meeting.
Yes.
My good old friend there, we have been very regular. I want to wish the best of time to our televiewers, and hope that next time it will be much better than now.
Okay, yeah. We want to thank the production team, Eli and Desmond, and to all of you for watching. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.